What's up everybody, and welcome to yet another video in our YouTube channel. So on this video, I wanted to talk about the importance of having a structured morning routine, especially for individuals that are in business as an entrepreneur, or if you are a forex trader. It's very important that you have a structured morning routine so you're really productive and effective in the times that you really need to be. You know, one of the things that really changed about me from being employed to being a full-time forex trader was the structure. You know that when you're employed, you have a set structure in terms of this is what I need to do when I get to work. This is when my lunch is. This is the type of work I'm going to be doing for the day. Whereas when you get to an environment where you're fully self-employed or you are a full-time trader, the ball changes. Now you're in control of that and you can easily slack off. And this is why it's so important to have a morning routine so that you can structure your day effectively and make sure that you're effective throughout your day and actually productive for that specific day. So I'll talk a bit about my morning routine as a full-time trader. So what I usually do is I'll start off my morning with a solid gym session. Usually I'll have a 1-hour gym session where I move between cardio and weightlifting. This is just to, get the blood boiling. Sometimes I'll just take a nice solid road run just to get the blood boiling. I feel like I actually get so much moving in my head after a solid run or after a solid exercise. So pretty much that's how I start off my morning. After a solid run, what I usually do is I'll go to Starbucks or Kauai to grab either a coffee or a smoothie. So usually what I'll do is after grabbing the coffee or smoothie, I'll get to the office. I pretty much do my weekly structure on Sunday. So on a Sunday, I already know what the pressing matters are for the week, the things that I need to focus on a daily basis to ensure that I am effective throughout the week. So usually what I'll do is that's the first thing that I open my calendar and I open my notes tab to look at what are the things that I need to do for the day to make sure that I focus on those things. I usually focus on the most difficult task first. I firmly believe that, the most difficult task needs to always be the first thing that you do, just to make sure that you give yourself that accomplishment. I feel like once I've accomplished that most difficult thing that I need to do for that day, the rest of the day just rolls smoothly. Once I've literally checked my calendar and notes to see what I need to do for the day, usually what I'll do is I'll jump onto the markets and scan the markets, look at the top 5 trading opportunities for the day, for the week, look at how the markets are running, and just see if there's any trading opportunities that I will be involving myself in for that specific day. So later on in this video, we'll definitely be jumping onto the market to see how the market is looking today, how if there's any trading opportunities that we could capitalize on for today. And yeah, man, let's see, maybe we can get 1 or 2 trading opportunities. Cool. So once I've done that, what I usually will do then is jump onto either a Zoom call with either a new member or an existing member. And yeah, from there onwards, it's pretty much a free-flowing day. I'll go through my schedule and check if there's anything else that I need to do in that morning or for the rest of the day. But from that point, I pretty much have an overview of how my day is going to go. And if there is anything else that might be pressing that I need to either do on a business perspective or on a personal perspective. But yeah, this is pretty much how I structure my morning. It's really just, as a full-time trader, for me, the most important thing is having a structure and making sure that you're following that structure to the T. It's making sure that every single morning you're waking up and doing the work that you need to do, that you're putting the accountability there and the due diligence, there, because if you don't do the work, if you don't put in the work, everything else stops. So this is really how I start my morning. We'll definitely be jumping onto a Zoom call later on. Also, let's jump onto a market breakdown. Let's scan through the market and see if there's any trading opportunities we could capitalize on today. Let's go. What I love about our strategy is that we look at the market on a long-term perspective. So because we're looking at the market from a long-term perspective all the way down to the smaller time frames, our structures really don't change much. The only thing that changes is just what's happening in the now. So in most cases, I never really do a lot when it comes to what is currently happening at that moment, because the structure of the market is still very much valid. So we'll look at the top 5 trading opportunities that I'm looking to trade. So let's start off with gold. So as you guys can see, gold is on a nice buy run. So if I were to show you guys gold on a long-term perspective, so let's look at the weekly chart, you'll be able to see that gold has been on a descending channel and has now broken above that descending channel. One thing that we've been looking for since the break of that descending channel is a nice pullback to retest this area, which was resistance as now support. As you guys can see, I have some alerts here set. So let's go to smaller time frames and see what's happening right now, and if that trading opportunity that we're waiting on is ready to be capitalized on, maybe if we need to wait a few more days. Awesome. Cool. So as you guys can see, gold is now very close to our alerts. So we are looking at around 1850 or 1855 as a great area to enter a buy position to continue pushing up with it. So like I said, we have broken above this descending channel and price is now starting to push to the upside. On a smaller time frame, you'll notice that we've had some reversal patterns forming here, which gave us an indication that price is then going to start pushing down to possibly retest this area as now support. So let's go to a smaller time frame and see what's happening around there. But from a long-term perspective, right, gold, as you guys can see, we have broken above this descending channel and we might definitely get some nice buyers around this 1860, 1855 or 1850 zone. It is a very significant area and an area of supply. So yeah, I'll be looking to see how the market is going to behave once we get there. Obviously, as you guys can see, I've got some nice alerts waiting so that when price gets there, I'm going to get an alert to look at gold and see what's happening and then capitalize on the moves that are taking place. So let's look at on a 4-hour time frame. So this is gold on a 4-hour time frame. So on a 4-hour time frame, we were capitalizing quite a lot. So you'll notice we take a lot of gold trades in our trading opportunity, in our trading community, and that is because gold is a major focus for us, and also gold really moves nicely. There's a lot of liquidity in gold, there's a lot of volatility in gold, so we focus a lot on gold. And we were taking also smaller time frame, intraday opportunities. So we were capitalizing on this area that gold was in. You guys can see here we had a nice reversal pattern that was forming here. So this channel was a nice area for us to capitalize on, to continue buying. But again, we were still wary, and we still knew that at some point price is then going to start pushing to the downside, and that's exactly what we got. As you guys can see, then price broke outside of this area and then retested this area. We took nice sell opportunities also last week on gold around this area. So what's happening right now is that it is targeting this support area, which is the areas around 1850, 1860 or 1855, like I said earlier on. So I'll be interested in taking a nice buy opportunities if we can come back to these areas to retest these areas. Obviously, I will need some sort of an indication from the market to suggest that we will be pushing higher. So yeah, obviously once we get there, we'll just see how the market behaves. We'll just look for certain things that are in line with our strategy, which will tell us if it's time to jump in or not. So yeah, that's gold in a nutshell. Very much still bullish on gold. Let's also look at Nasdaq. So I know a lot of South African traders focus a lot on Nasdaq, and the same with us. We definitely trade Nasdaq and capitalize a lot on Nasdaq. A lot of traders again love Nasdaq because of the way it moves, the liquidity, the volatility within the pair. So it's also a major focus for our trading community. There's a lot of money in Nasdaq. So let's look at how it's looking at this point. So again with Nasdaq, we have a massive pattern that's forming here, right? This pattern to us is an indication of a possible reversal pattern. So on a long-term perspective, and this is on a very long-term perspective, so this is possibly going to take a few months to evolve. We definitely expect the market to push to the downside. However, on a smaller time frame perspective, price is definitely still very much going up. So let's look at how it's looking on a smaller time frame to see if there's any trading opportunities we could capitalize on for today. So I'll go to a 4-hour time frames. As you guys can see right now, price has reached a very interesting area. So look at this area that we are currently on, right? If you guys look at this area that we are currently on, you guys can see that every single time the market has been reaching this area, it has shown to be a valid area, you know, either as support or either as resistance. You know, you guys can see support, resistance, you know, support. So now we're back there as support. So this is again a very interesting area. So I'll be very interested in seeing how the market is going to behave around this zone to possibly target the all-time highs, which is around the $14,000 mark. So very nice. I love what I'm seeing again on Nasdaq, and I think on Nasdaq definitely we could get an opportunity today. We'll see later on how the market behaves, maybe closer to US session. But yeah, Nasdaq, I think we can definitely get an opportunity today on Nasdaq. So we'll see how that goes throughout the day, and then we'll see if, you know, there's anything interesting that happens closer to US session. So yeah, that's Nasdaq in a nutshell. And then let's look at US 30. So US 30 is another one that we've been looking at. US 30 is very similar to Nasdaq in the sense of, you know, it's also a US indices, so they move very similarly to each other. And also, you know, it includes, you know, US stocks, so they move very similarly. So on a fundamental perspective, you know, if stocks in America are pushing to the upside, in most cases it's going to have an influence on both Nasdaq and US 30. Again, if you guys look at US 30, we've again reached a really interesting area around here, right? So one thing about me is the way I trade Nasdaq and US 30, there are other elements to it that when it comes to entry opportunities, you know, taking that opportunity, there are other elements that we look at. However, on an overall perspective, we use pure supply and demand. This is purely for just Nasdaq and US 30 because currently they are obviously on massive bull runs. So for you to try and, you know, apply trend lines, it's going to be a bit challenging. So we use supply and demand. We look for price to reach some interesting areas of supply or areas of demand, and then we'll see how the market is going to behave. If it's going to behave in line with, you know, the rules that we have in our strategy, then we'll take either buy or sell. But again, we've reached a really interesting area on US 30. So I think even on US 30, we could definitely get a buy opportunity. I actually feel like on this one, we could definitely get a buy very soon. So this, I'm definitely going to be looking at today to see if there's any opportunity that we can possibly capitalize on. Again, on a long-term perspective, like I said, you know, price is on this massive bull run, as you guys can see, and this is why I use supply and demand purely for US 30 and Nasdaq, because, you know, prices are so bullish and they literally moving on massive bull runs that for you to try and apply other elements like, you know, trend lines on smaller time frames, it will be a bit challenging. So we're waiting for so obviously, like I said, right now we're at a nice support area on a small time frame perspective, and then we'll see how price behaves at this area for a possible buy opportunity. Yeah, awesome. So that's US 30 in a nutshell. And then let's see GBP CAD. So GBP CAD, I actually looked at this with one of our newest members. So we were actually analyzing this pair, so I can show her the behavior of the market. If you guys can see, price is stuck within a major support and resistance area. So at this moment we've formed a pattern. I'm waiting to see which side of this pattern price is going to break. Are we going to break to the upside, or are we going to break to the downside, you know? So right now, and this is another thing, this is one thing about GBP pairs. You know, GBP pairs, I like trading them on a longer time frame perspective. So for our daily time frames, those are the areas that I predominantly look at when I'm trading GBP pairs. So right now it's stuck within this consolidation area. I am purely waiting for price to break outside of this consolidation area before I take a trading opportunity. So at this point, because it's still within this consolidation, I'm not going to really participate a lot. I like entering the market when it's, you know, running strong rallies, if we are pushing to the upside on a massive rally, or if we're pushing to the downside on a massive rally. So for now, I'm not really going to participate. There are some areas of support and resistance that I am seeing, which are also key areas that are, you know, preventing price from breaking above, such as this area here. Right, so that's a nice key area that is preventing price from breaking further above. And then yeah, we'll see if maybe price can break to the downside, or if it's going to break to the upside. But we have our target points which are in line with our strategy. But yeah, for now, again, like I said, not going to participate on GBP CAD. I don't like the price behavior. I don't like the way it's looking. It's consolidative, and yeah, I don't really like trading consolidative markets. So this we're definitely not going to be looking at for today. So we can actually close that, and then let's look at Euro odd. So if you guys look at Euro odd is looking quite interesting. I think Euro odd, we also could possibly get an opportunity here. So as you guys can see, price has been very much in a consolidative area, but the reason why I like this behavior better is because we're still getting some nice, you know, uptrends and downtrends. So if you guys can see this, price was pushing to the upside, right, on a small time frame perspective. Remember, we are day traders, so day traders, you want to look for smaller time frames, right? You look for time frames within the trading that you do. So on a daily perspective, this is where I'd be looking at. So you guys can see we've been on a nice upward rally on a daily perspective, or on a 4-hour perspective. Right now we've been stuck in this consolidative region, and we've now broken outside of that consolidation region, right? So this is really key price behavior, because ever since we've broken out, right, I want you guys to look at this behavior. Ever since we've broken out, we've now formed a bit of a continuation pattern, right? So this is what we call a bull flag. No, a bear flag. Yeah, so a bear flag. We formed a bear flag, right? You guys can see we had a nice push to the downside, and price is now forming what? A bear flag. So what can we expect after this? You know, definitely a nice downward move. You know, we have our zones that keep us within the structure that price is stuck in, and this is also again something that you can use for targeting, right? Or you can either try to identify an area of supply, right, and use that area on a targeting perspective. You know, so Euro odd is definitely looking interesting. I'll definitely be looking at this also today to see if we can get a nice sell move. Like I'm predicting is possibly going to happen from after this, you know, consolidation zone that we are currently in. Usually we would have already been in this trade and just holding a position that's already in profit. But yeah, we only checked this. I only saw this yesterday when I was, doing one of my trading sessions with one of my members, and we saw that it's really looking interesting, and it's reached quite interesting areas. So yeah, that's pretty much how I will scan the market. So again, quick scan of the top 5 pairs that I'm looking at for that day, just to see if they're interesting, what's happening. I'll set some alerts to see if the market reaches certain price areas, and just get an alert once the market reaches that area to then look and see if I can then take my trade. But usually these will be the only pairs I will look at for this day, because these are the only pairs that I really feel that I've analyzed, I've unpacked, and I really understand to the T. One thing that I think a lot of traders get wrong is having your strategy and quickly analyzing a pair and thinking, okay, let's jump in. What we encourage is having that due diligence already, so that when you analyze it again, you're just confirming, and it's just to validate the overall bias or the overall analysis that you've already done. It strengthens your bias, and it strengthens also your ability in trading. So yeah, that's a quick scan of the market. So now we'll jump onto a quick Zoom call with one of our newest members, and then yeah, after the Zoom call, then we can pretty much go on with the day. Free flowing. Whatever we do at this point is up to us. And we'll just pretty much wait for the market to give us some nice areas of buying or selling opportunity. So yeah, hope you guys like that. Let's get it, man. Let's jump on to the next one. Okay, cool. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys again for watching this video and just tuning in and actually spending your morning with me. I know it's a pretty long video, but there's a lot of insightful info on that market breakdown, which I think is going to help any of you guys that are existing traders or aspiring traders. But yeah, this is pretty much how I structure my morning. Make sure that you also do the same for yourself. If you are either a full-time trader or in business, it's very important to make sure that you have a solid structure to your morning, that you're really productive and putting in the effort and the work that needs to be done, whether that is in your health, in your mind, or maybe just a cup of coffee just to get the body into the flow of the day. So yeah, I'll see you guys on another video. Please make sure you subscribe and share this video, and yeah, like it, man, if you liked it. You know what I'm saying. Appreciate you being here, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.